It's Anzac Day here, which is a holiday celebrating all the soldiers from Australia and New Zealand that have fought in wars. And I think they just did a flyover of like a big military airplane craft. That was pretty cool. So I've made my way into the Japanese garden, and there's lots of great plants, tons of chemycypris. I love this variegated Thuiopsis. All right, so actually this is the proper entrance, and everybody at dinner last night was like, oh my God, you didn't get to the Japanese garden. And looks to me like we've got some Yuletide camellias in bloom. We sure do. That's what the sign says. So it's funny, Yuletide does not bloom at Christmas in the Southern Hemisphere. I always love signage. Great to have explanation of the purpose of the garden, and what it's made up of, and what the different architectural elements represent. And just in time for fantastic Japanese maple color. Well, we've got beautiful azaleas, redwing blooming, nice hydrangeas, both macrophylla and paniculatas. Of course, camellias are always such a special treat at this time of year. But these hydrangeas are pretty impressive. You come up here, and of course my favorite plant is within view, and this is actually the largest Edgeworthia that I've seen here. Look at that. It's nice and dense because it's grown in full sun. Oh yeah, lots of flower buds forming. This will be spectacular when it starts to really open up. I love these camellia hedges. I personally wouldn't manage camellia hedges just because I'm not dedicated to pruning the way it needs to be done. But I really like all the different varieties. So you get all the different flower colors. Of course, the sasanquas are bee pollinated, so fragrant might not be the word, but it's definitely a musky smell. It's pretty iconic. Unlike the Camellia japonicas that bloom in the winter, in their native range they are bird pollinated, so they don't need to have any scent at all. The sasanquas attract insects, so they do need fragrance. But I'm not sure I've really ever seen a mixed hedge of Camellia sasanqua done this well. It really is nice to have a bunch of different cultivars. You see, this is pretty mature. Look at those stalks. Again, this is probably not something that I would realistically keep up, but I really appreciate the application. And I'm so excited to see one of my absolute favorite berrying trees, which you almost never see anywhere. Something I grew at Camellia Forest, Adesia polycarpa. I saw this at the National Arboretum in the videos that I posted. I guess that was back in March. And if you ever have the opportunity, if you see this for sale, buy it. It is the coolest plant ever. It has these big bundles of berries that actually look a lot like Nandina, bright red, birds love them. It's a really great plant. Well, here we've got Lindera obtusaloba, the Japanese spice bush. And you can see the flowers are really enormous, not open yet. Usually, I think, these flower shortly after the leaves fall off. But I love Lindera in general. Native, Asian, doesn't matter to me. I think it's definitely a plant worth collecting. Of the intrigue of this garden, you just never know what's gonna come around the next corner. Ah, looks like a nice place to sit and contemplate. Of course, Humonymous, fortuni, ground cover. And there's Prunus, subvertilla, autumnalis. I talk about this quite regularly from my garden. For me, it blooms in the spring and fall. Another great Cryptoia. This is Meni sugi. I'm not actually familiar with that cultivar. You can see these look kind of like maybe Yoshino or something, but ginkgo, juniperus. So many of our common landscape plants are Japanese natives. Ophiopogon, various hollies. When you see them all together, you start to recognize how dependent we are on these particular plants, these specific genus, especially the Japanese maple. Well, the water features here are really extraordinary. I love this water wheel. Of course, beautiful red bridge. Got this waterfall here. Look at this outstanding color on this viburnum. It matches the red bridge. Which viburnum is it? Viburnum plicatum. This is definitely one of the most extensive Japanese gardens that I have gone through, particularly for being outside of Japan. It's a fun seating area up there. And then we come along here to the Dragon Bridge, a lily pond. It's all just so peaceful and beautiful. Wow, look at the bud set on this camellia. The Cryptoia collection is pretty epic. I used to grow this one. This is Cryptoia japonica dracardoides. Kind of looks like Ericaria. These long branches, but more heat tolerant. That's why it's kind of a practical one for the southeast U.S. And we've got Caria mixed with barberry and azaleas, pines and camellias, nandinas, all together. It's a wonderful collection of plants. Well, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this stroll through the Japanese garden here at the Royal Tasmanian Botanical Garden. And I hope that you'll continue to tune in as I share more videos from my visit here. As always, thanks for watching and happy gardening.